Hi, it's Christine from the channel Christine and Celeste, and this is part 2 about the first impressions of the Oracle of the Triad. So we got now to card 31, which is called Order, and as soon as I saw it, I thought of the Judgment card. So as you know, I'm comparing it with the Marseille Tarot, just to give me a direction to go with some cards. What I noticed here, and I didn't talk about colors much, but there's a lot of colors that you can link to chakras here. So for example, the indigo could be the third eye, and the wings here are purple or violet, so it's the crown chakra. So it's really the message from above, isn't it? And at the same time, it's the calling. And we know, for example, here in France, when it's church time, we can hear the bells, and I absolutely love the bells. And every hour, I think, or every half hour, we hear the bells from different churches, and I find that very cleansing. I do like that sound, but of course, there's a link here to the Ten Commandments with the two tablets, but it could also be the head here, the top of the head and the face, and the two lungs, the 2 feet. It could be about getting messages from above, doing automatic writing. Or cleansing. There's a lot of things that can be applied to this deck. It also says it could be government, because it's an order for you to do something, or your chief or somebody who's above you. It can also be a revelation, as a judgment can be. It's that wow moment when you finally found the solution, when you got this spark of finding the solution, or you're not too sure how you got the message, but you got it. So that would be this card. We then got Illusion 32. And illusion, obviously about fantasy delusion, and you can see here, it looks a bit like the sea on a 6 of Swords, I think, on the right away, where it's calm and then it's not. And it's a frame, and behind that frame you see the sky and the the trident, which represent here the subconscious. So not only it's going behind the mask or having a mask on, but it's also, I think, when your subconscious talks and you're not aware of it. And this happens a lot to us, that subconsciously we say things that we shouldn't or don't want to be saying. So I do like this illusion card. It's about fantasy too, and it's linked also to any substance abuse. Now we have birth here, and I thought about it for a long time, because you think the Empress would obviously fit very nicely in here, but I thought the Fool fitted too, because it feels like he's, well, in here he's a bit older, but he's so naive and so young, and it's like he's out of the egg and he's going to explore the world, and that's why I feel like the chick that will come out of his egg will explore the world. So it's obviously a lot deeper than this. You have all the lotus here and all the astrological signs around it, masculine, feminine. Once again, you've got the black line from above going below, and all the sacred geometry behind it. So there's a lot on this card. So it's birth, obviously, it could be, a pregnancy. It's a growth, it's an evolution too, because the egg becomes, a chick, or it becomes, in a human too, baby. So another hand here, initiation, and with all the writing, it's about studies, education, learning, training. There's the eye again, the all-knowing, all-seeing eye, with the three Trinity, once again, the 3 white signs of God. When I see it, it's really profound. It's not just learning, I feel, because there's the hand. It's maybe learning a trade because you're going to use your hands. Or this time the hand is reversed. You can't see the lines, but it could be learning a new skill for life. Oops. 35 is a necessity. So once again, it's one card where I'm not too sure of the keyword here, necessity, because to me I would have called it destiny, because it's a weaver's thing, I don't know what it's called, and wand, weaving wand, and there you have the thread, you can see the thread, and here the thread is being measured, so it's you could think about time in that instance, and then going all around, and it's being cut here by the size, and you see it's written mortar, and yeah, it's cut here. So it is about destiny, about life and death, about what do they put here? Because necessity is, I don't know, obligation. Destiny, that's it, destiny is a good word for it. Or something you can't escape. You can't escape the birth, you can't escape death once you're born. It's something you can't escape. Yeah. I chose here to couple it with the Chariot for the movement. So there's here writing about the winds, but you can see the wind is blowing that way, so it's going more towards the past, isn't it? You have a map, you have the compass, so it's not just going anywhere. It could be a time in your life when you need to focus on where you're going. It's not just physical movement, but it could be. "37 light, enlightenment, illumination, brightness." They also put celebrity, which yeah, it's shining the light on someone's celebrity, I suppose, but I do like it's all Trinity again, with, you see the sun rays and just this gold and white is just beautiful. So obviously linked to the sun. After the sun comes the sword, and so it's called the weapon. So dispute, divorce, lawsuit, justice, of course, could go there too. I didn't put it there, but it could. Fight, crime, and let's see what these signs are on the cards. So we have Shin for fire, we have Dallas for Mars, as in warrior god, and He, which is corresponds to Aries. And you notice that even in tarot, the direction of the sword is important, whether it's going up or down. So it's going there, it's coming from above to below. So it can also be, if you link the swords to air and thoughts, although here it's linked to fire. It could be to thought, a new thought coming down that you will act upon. Message. So anything to do with letters, with projects, but to me it's a little bit more than this, because there's this ancestral feeling in this deck, because I suppose because it's there's a lot of ancient religion in this deck. So it could be about all the science, because you see all this writing. It could be about science. It could be about getting messages from ancestors. "40" is misfortune. So it's not a fluffy deck, as you've noticed by now. You must have noticed that by now. It's not fluffy at all. Because it's the journey once again. So the journey you're going up and down and going through many different things. So this one could be about depression. It's called misfortune, suffering. It could be death too, loss, but more than death, because there's another death card here. You really see it's more about the person here. I feel that's in despair, depressed. Yeah, it's a good depression card, really. Equity, I put temperance with it. A very powerful card once again, with yin and yang, and the Caduceus. I think the yellow dot could be the chakra, right? It could be the power chakra here. So it's finding this balance with that equity. It's also about health. It's a health card, about sanity, harmony. There's also a justice thing in it, because there's the balance. But it's a softer justice. Desert. And with desert, and I'll explain to you why I put the moon, because you must think, oh, she put the moon. Yeah. First of all, did I tell you that he's into, I wish it was straighter, he's into calligraphy. Look at that, desert, how beautiful it's written. So I've never been to the desert, but I go to my local beach, and it's miles long with nothing, no one on it, and it's very hot, and I can see there's a type of mist that starts, and you get mirage. You get this illusion that the earth is mirrored. It's very strange, and that's why I thought about the moon, because with the moon you're not quite sure what you're looking at, if you're really seeing what you're looking at, and I do like that about desert. Obviously it's solitude, isolation, inaction, because nothing's happening. Radiation too, something about radiation in it. The key, pretty self-explanatory, so it's finding the solution, or opening or closing a door. The key is a tool to find the solution. So it's about a discovery. Yeah. So 44 here is called chaos, where in French it's called I'm not sure, it's storm, lightning. That's it, lightning. But anyway, lightning, chaos. So yeah, anything to do with the tower, which I put next to it. Distraction, break, and also remember, tower is revelation. So everything to do with the tower we have here. Time. Someone can explain time. That's a man-made thing, except that with the sun and the moon we're getting our time, and the rotation of the earth we're getting our timing. So in a way it's all the celestial influences, so it's about time too, basically, too, and the limitation, because time can be limiting. Sacrifice, I put the Hanged Man, And I'd like to talk a little bit about this card because it's very Christ-like based, obviously. But there's a few things here. All the songs here are in the past, it shows. So, you know, you've got your dagger here. There's no need to sacrifice anymore. I think there's a way to cut these thorns off. Also, I don't think the blood is that bad, because it could be about giving blood and saving a life. And honestly, to go and give blood is a little bit of a sacrifice. It's not very pleasant, but it's nothing next to helping someone else, you know, get better. So, and you see how the blood splashes like that. It's like it's coming out. So, you know, this giving is really there for me. What else do they put? Effort, surrender, partial loss, yeah. Conscious passivity, just like the Hangman. See, some cards are really linked, and others, they're just one thing linked, but eternity. The first keyword they put is stability, although this pillar doesn't seem that stable, but that's what it is. You can't see the bottom of it because it's above the clouds. But then, obviously, with the lemniscate here, long-term security. So you know that anything that you start now, let's say you buy a house, you know you're going to stay there a long time. If you start a job, you're going to stay a long time. That's what this card is telling you. So that's great. Yes. Soul. No, I can't explain what soul is. I'm not going to try. But it's linked to spirituality. The heart, we say our soul is in the heart. About the self, obviously it's, you could think about the chakras here, the power chakra again. There. So I put the devil with this one. I know some of you were a fan of The Sandman by Neil Gaiman. So that's why he looks like to me. His face is blue because he's the fallen angel, right? I don't know much about Satan. It's not something I ever looked into. We could put, you know, the shadow work we do maybe on it, but you see the black candles here. This black and red is very heavy, I find. So it's called nemesis in English. So difficulty, problem, fight, struggle, evil. But I understand this card better personally, but I will look more into it as the 666 and all that. It's not something I ever look at personally. But I can work with it as a shadow side, which is dark enough, isn't it? For me, anyway. Papyrus, 50, so anything in writing, paper, books, business-like, trade. And because there's the boat, you're going somewhere, so it's for the better. Use of natural resources, papyrus. So if you want to open a business and you want it to be as natural as possible, this card would be, you know, beneficial. That's one of my favorite cards in the deck. Not the Justice, but this one, Return, because I really get it, and yeah, it's quite cryptic when you look at it, but I really feel that, you know, we're trying to go up this, and then we get caught in that kind of, yeah, it's like karma. To me, it's the picture of karma. If I had to draw it, I think it wouldn't be that much different from it. And the imprisonment of karma you can feel sometimes. And yet the freedom too, because that looks like wings too behind. So there's both. and how it's your choice to go from one to the other, or is it your choice? That's very interesting, and that's one way I interpret justice too. Silence. So the shut mouth. What's interesting is, these shapes are wonderful too, but it's that you see the silent note here, but it's like you can hear the silent music when you stop talking, and it could be just hearing the rhythm of things, the rhythm of your heart, or your breathing. Your breathing too is. We hardly listen to it except when we stop and meditate, which is the next card with the Om. So that's the Sanskrit Om, and that is it Tibetan? Let me check. There's so many languages on these, but all Mediterranean, all of them. It's it's Tibetan. Om Mani Padme Hum. That's it. So it's the Om. And meditation is about going inwards, obviously, reflection, thinking. Also, it could be the Hermit card. I didn't put it there, but it could be, see, a few cards go in a few places. So taking that stop, we stop for a moment and think before we act. So we have death here, but this card I would have more called, it talks more to me about reincarnation, if you do believe in that or not, because once again it's like the tunnel where you see the light and go, and you have multiple tunnels and multiple incarnation. But here it seems to say that they're all at the same time, and I've seen this theory before, but to me it's only a theory, but it's an interesting one to look at, because I don't have the answer. Science doesn't have the answers yet about it. So it's a good card to look at. So obviously, ending of something, real death, and it could be to connecting with dead people. 55, fusion. Finding your twin flame, getting married, the union of masculine and feminine, association with someone, meeting, going to a wedding. 56, brother. So that can be any member of your family who you trust, and you can see here the white ribbons, and there's blood here that unites. So it's really someone from your family. It can be your ancestors. It can be a card that you meditate with to contact your ancestors. And the last card, Omega. So I had to put the word here for the final completion. You finally got there. It's the end of the cycle, and it's your achievement. You got there. Well done. So that's the Oracle of the Triad. I will try maybe a spread later, but for the moment I'll upload this, and I see you soon. Bye bye.